Let's talk about Kamala Harris then.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know too much about her, to be honest with you. I know
Let me give you
I
a
know
good introduction. What do you think?
I know. Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say I saw her on the stage right at the beginning stages of when they were having the debate, just going after Joe Biden. I just think it's so interesting that I mean, I know that's politics, and I know she was just doing whatever she had to do to stand out at that particular time. And I say stand out with a grin on my face because she's 5'2". But yeah, I mean, I don't know much about her. So, what do you have on Kamala Harris?
So I'll tell you what Trump and everybody on the right is saying. They're saying that Kamala Harris is this radical leftist. I don't think that's a very smart strategy because I think even liberals know that she's really not radical left. They look up to her because she is a woman of color and they think that she's going to drive country to the right place. But from the beginning, when she was running, she was one of the first to drop out because nobody liked her. She does not have charisma. She doesn't have a good history. Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her in one of the debates when she called her out for her horrible record as district attorney in California.
So was that what she was doing before she ran for? And I read about this too. I read about how tough she was on crime, how tough she was on drugs, how tough she was on sentences. So I guess she was the district attorney in California before she ran for Senate. I'm guessing.
Yep,
that's what she did. Okay, yeah, and I think from a campaign aspect, just on the surface, you're bringing in some women voters, right? You're bringing in the African American minority vote, and as you know, the Democrats rely on that for a chance to survive against the Republicans. So we already know she's tough on crime from her record in California, and Biden's tough on crime too. So if you're looking for a Democratic candidate that's or presidency, I guess, that's going to do anything about changing crime or lessening sentences, I don't think these two are the ones to do it. Kamala Harris I read that she was very tough when it came to drug sentences, and she's tough on immigration too for being in California. So as a Republican, I look at these two nominees, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not that scared of them. No. Even if they were to come into office, I don't think anything that radical would change at all from what's happening right now.
No, I think for any conservative and really any liberal, you guys would be fine. You'd be looking at probably the closest you can compare it to is a George Bush presidency. That's what it would look like. And because they're both pro-war, Kamala Harris, as senator, she voted to increase Trump's military budget twice. So you know the narrative. They are all, oh my God, Trump is horrible. Russia interfering in the elections. Trump is a Russia puppet. But here you go, Trump. Let me increase your military budget. She declined to prosecute Steve Mnuchin after his bank was doing fraudulent foreclosure.
Was this while she was DA?
That's when she was DA. And then she was the only senator that he donated money to.
I was about to bring that up. I was like, does this have something to do with campaign donations during the run for senator? Was there some conversations in a back room somewhere where she said, I'm thinking about running for senator, and he go, kind of winking at him, and he goes, well, I can maybe cut you a check.
The only 2016 Senate Democratic candidate to get cash from Steve Mnuchin. Donald Trump and family have donated money to Kamala Harris, probably also related to that, her being DA. But you can see it's multiple times, so it's not like it was an accident or anything. It's just thousands of dollars from Donald and Ivanka multiple times. More record, you talked about the marijuana. She jailed thousands of people for marijuana sentences, long sentences too. She protected serial child rapists because there was a big Catholic Church sex abuse scandal.
So she wasn't just the DA. She became the Attorney General of California. She was the DA of San Francisco, and then she became
Attorney General.
Yeah, then she became the Attorney General of the entire state.
Yeah, Catholic Church sex abuse scandal. All of her team was saying you need to prosecute people. Refused to do so. She talked about a big speech. We'll find the video because it's very popular. She was saying the build more schools, less jails concept that you and I have discussed does not work. She's saying that building more schools and less jails, it's not going to fix the problem. So she, of course, is pro increasing the amount of jail time out there, and it's related to what we have seen. She just had a horrible record, and she opposed legalization of sex work, even though pretty much everybody in California wanted that. At some point, looked like there was hope from some angles, right? Because she touched base on a few things to seem progressive. So for a few months, she was endorsing Medicare for all. Very strategic, of course, because she knew she was going to run for president, and she was like, you know what?
Well, you know, California a while back, and I don't know the actual timeline on this, but they were actually going to be the first state to introduce Medicare for all. And they realized that it was going to bankrupt the state. And they stopped and they rolled it back. So I know for a while California was actually thinking about becoming the first state in the union to adopt a Medicare for all policy as a state. And they realized how expensive it was going to be, how much it was going to cost them. And they pulled back at the last minute. So I don't know what she had to do with that. I don't know if she was in office back when that happened, but I know that California at one point was leaning towards a Medicare for all policy, and it realized that it was just going to bankrupt the entire state, and then just pulled back at the last minute. Then again, California has been on the brink of bankruptcy for a couple decades now, so is the United States if you really look at it. I mean, we're trillions of dollars in debt. Like I don't understand the difference. I don't know why you can look at California and go, they're at the brink of bankruptcy, but the United States is doing fine. We're trillions of dollars in debt. We're not doing fine at all. And our economy's in the shitter right now because of everything that's going on with COVID-19. So, yeah, Medicare for all, I mean, I know that Biden doesn't stand by it, neither does Pelosi. Kamala Harris, I guess, I assume Biden wouldn't pick her and Pelosi wouldn't pick her if she was, that radical left. I think she probably is more leftist than Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, just going by what I see here. But I guarantee she can't be that much of a wild card, or she wouldn't have been chosen. I'm pretty sure she's probably chosen because she's a safe bet. She's a woman. She's African American. She's Asian. She checks those boxes. She brings in those votes. And I know that the Democrats do that better than anybody else, is grandstanding and, bring on board minority voting. And she checks the right boxes.
Yeah, so, sort of. Running, she had the lowest amount of black support after Pete Buttigieg. So she was not huge with black supporters or anything. Now, of course, you have all the liberals going crazy about it and really excited. But yeah, just horrible record when it comes to. She was very pro prison labor. She would extend sentences of people to keep them working for $1 an hour, I think, is what they were getting.
They get kickbacks from that, by the way. I mean, your governor gets kickbacks off that labor. I mean, it's because you're only paying the inmate what, a couple cents on the hour or whatever, because they're incarcerated anyway. And I'm one of the people that believe that they should be paid crap because they're incarcerated anyway. But whatever, that's a whole other discussion for a whole different time. But they get paid cents on the hour. But they're doing whatever. In certain states, they make license plates. In some places, they fix furniture. I mean, there's all kinds of different labor programs that are in different states for different places. What I really don't like is the fact that the state shrouds it as rehabilitation programs and building skills for outside. No, just say what it is.
They're not.
And it's utilizing your prison population for something other than sitting around and watching TV. And I don't care if you do that and you make money off of it. Just don't lie about what you're doing. Don't come out there and say we're doing this to help them build skills. No, that's done in a classroom. If you have a GED program, awesome. If you have an ability for them to go online and take classes, vocational training, if you bring in an instructor to help them learn how to work on automobiles, or you help them work on something like that, if you teach them an actual skill, whether it's electrician work or something like that, that is actually setting them up for the future. Having them sitting in a shop for hours on a time stamping license plates is not setting them up for success in the future. That's just using them for labor. And I don't care if you do that. If you're in the criminal justice system, if you're a criminal and you've been incarcerated and they want to use you to stamp license plates, I don't care. Just don't call it rehabilitation, because that's not what you're doing. You're just using a captured labor force to make money for the state. And there's a lot of other things.
And for the private companies, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And civil
exploitation
forfeitures.
of labor. Yeah.
I mean, just say what it is. And civil forfeiture is the same thing. I mean, it's the state taking over, civil assets because there's been a crime at some point somewhere. And now the state says they can come in and move in and take their stuff. I know it's a completely different scenario. It's just another situation in which the state hides behind, certain keywords to, and statutes to hide the fact that they're literally just stealing from the American people, whether it's stealing labor or stealing property or stealing all other kinds of stuff. It happens across the board. So I don't care if you get arrested and you get sentenced for murdering somebody or breaking into their house and burglarizing their house and you have to go to jail for a period of time. I don't care if they work you. I don't care. Now I do require the conditions to be humane. I don't expect them to work you 12. I say that, and I was in the military working 12 hours a day. No one gave a crap about me being humane. But at the same time, I guess that makes me feel bad now. I'm advocating. I'm advocating.
To do that,
They chose to do the crime. Don't act like
no. I'm not saying
no.
To do the crime. I'm just saying they're not choosing to be exploited for work. However, even in that situation, I'm just against it because nobody should be able to profit off of people for that reason. That should not be a thing. That's labor exploitation. It should be illegal to do that. Like you said, if you're going to have rehab programs, have rehab programs. Sweden, I think, has some of the best rehab programs out there, and it reduces repeat incarceration tremendously compared to the U.S.
There's a lot of programs we could do inside of our jails.
Tons.
That would help. That would keep the rotating door from being a rotating door.
Yes.
The problem is
there's
the states make money for it to be a rotating door.
Private companies.
So as much as we say we don't want to see these people come back, they kind of do want to see these people come back.
Yeah, that's why it should be illegal, because then there's incentive to.
But at the same time, Paco,
people, etc.
If you're locked up for doing a crime and they want to be used, and the same labor laws should be put into effect for them as put for anybody else, right? 8-hour work days, a lunch break, 2 breaks. If you want to have them work while they're in there, go for it. Okay. Yeah. But you should also give them opportunities to better themselves too. I agree to that, to stop the rotating door. But if you do a crime and you get locked up, you're not making any money. You're costing money for food, lodging, power, the cost of the correctional officers to work the facility, power to work the facility, everything else. I know there's a cost to that, and it has to be gotten back. So if you want to work them an 8-hour workday, I have no problem with you doing that. Just be honest with what it is. You're doing it to make money for the state, to cover the cost of the institution, and probably pad the pockets of whoever is in that chain of command where that money is flowing.
Man. That's it. There's incentive to, it's a for-profit system, for-profit prisons.
Well, so is our bail system, and that's terrible too.
The bail system, everything is for-profit. It should not be that way. That should be eliminated right away, which is something that you are definitely not going to hear about at the Democratic National Convention.